A little glance from Alcaraz. The crowd are not going to like it. Spicy.
Stefanos Tsitsipas just had a complete meltdown during his match against Carlos Alcaraz. And what happened next was absolutely brutal. The Greek player lost his composure so badly that he tried to aim a shot directly at Alcaraz out of pure frustration, and the crowd immediately let him know what they thought about it. The instant regret was written all over his face as the match spiraled completely out of his control. This wasn't just a loss. This was a public humiliation that Tsitsipas brought entirely upon himself through poor sportsmanship and terrible decision-making.
Give him some more points. Give him some more points.
I don't decide. I don't decide it.
A little glance from Alcaraz. The crowd are not going to like it.
Let's set the scene for what was already becoming a nightmare match for Stefanos Tsitsipas. Carlos Alcaraz was absolutely dominating from the first ball. The young Spaniard was hitting winners from impossible positions, reading Tsitsipas like a book and making tennis look ridiculously easy. Every time Tsitsipas tried to get any momentum going, Alcaraz would pull out another ridiculous shot that had the crowd going absolutely crazy. The frustration was building for Tsitsipas with every passing game.
That's brilliant. Going in behind Tsitsipas. Misjudgment there. First time.
Alcaraz was doing everything right. His serve was working. His returns were unbelievable. He was hitting drop shots that landed on the line. He was running down balls that should have been winners. At one point, commentators were counting his consecutive successful drop shots, 4 of 4, then 7 of 7, then 8. Tsitsipas had no answers. Every strategy he tried, Alcaraz had a counter. Every powerful serve, Alcaraz returned with interest. The Greek player was being taken to school in front of a hostile crowd that was clearly on Alcaraz's side.
A little glance from Alcaraz. The crowd are not going to like it.
Then came the moment that showed exactly where Tsitsipas's head was at. During a point, instead of trying to hit a winner or construct a point properly, Tsitsipas aimed a shot directly at Alcaraz. Not at the open court, not trying to pass him, directly at his body with clear intent. The crowd immediately reacted with boos and displeasure. Even commentators who try to stay neutral couldn't hide their disapproval, saying the crowd was not going to like that and calling it spicy but clearly inappropriate. The instant regret on Tsitsipas's face was visible. He knew immediately that he'd crossed a line. Trying to hit your opponent out of frustration is one of the most unsportsmanlike things you can do in tennis. It's dangerous, it's disrespectful, and it shows you've completely lost control of your emotions and the match. Alcaraz's reaction was professional. He gave Tsitsipas a look but didn't escalate. He just got ready for the next point and proceeded to absolutely destroy him even more.
Telling drop shot. Oh, that's brilliant from Tsitsipas. Then moves backwards. How he loves to hit. And then he gets in with that one.
What happened next was karma in its purest form. Alcaraz, who was already playing incredible tennis, somehow elevated his game even further. He started hitting shots that seemed impossible. Backhand winners down the line. Forehand rockets that Tsitsipas couldn't even react to. Returns that were so good they looked like serves were being hit right back at Tsitsipas twice as hard. The commentators were running out of superlatives to describe what they were watching.
Three of 3, and I think that might just be the best.
The crowd, already firmly on Alcaraz's side, became even more supportive after Tsitsipas's cheap shot. Every winner from Alcaraz got massive cheers. Every error from Tsitsipas got polite applause that felt like mockery. Tsitsipas was not just losing a tennis match. He was losing the respect of everyone watching. The atmosphere in the stadium became electric, and all of that energy was directed against him. That's what happens when you show poor sportsmanship. The tennis gods make you pay.
You knew it was coming, and you almost knew that he would deliver with the drop shot.
But the drama wasn't over. In what can only be described as a complete mental breakdown, Tsitsipas then got into an argument with the chair umpire over time violations. He claimed he deserved more time between points. He argued that the rules weren't being applied fairly. He demanded that the umpire give Alcaraz point penalties instead of him. The exchange was embarrassing to watch. A professional tennis player at the highest level, not understanding basic rules and throwing a tantrum like a child. The umpire calmly explained the rules to Tsitsipas multiple times. When you take a set break, you get 3 minutes plus 2 minutes if you change clothes. But you can't take a break during a set. Tsitsipas apparently didn't hear the umpire calling the score at one point, which resulted in time violations and loss of points. Instead of accepting responsibility, he argued and complained, telling the umpire to give Alcaraz more points sarcastically as if the umpire was being unfair to him. The commentators pointed out what was remarkable about the whole situation. Tsitsipas, a top professional who's been on tour for years, didn't know or pretended not to know basic rules about time between points and breaks. He received 2 time violations in quick succession, losing points because he wasn't ready to play when he was supposed to be. Then he blamed the umpire for enforcing rules that apply to everyone equally. The lack of self-awareness was stunning. What makes this even more pathetic is that Tsitsipas has a history of this kind of behavior. He's been involved in multiple controversies over bathroom breaks, medical timeouts, and gamesmanship that opponents have called out. This wasn't an isolated incident of a normally respectful player having one bad day. This is a pattern of behavior from someone who struggles with emotional control and sportsmanship when things aren't going his way. Meanwhile, Alcaraz was giving a masterclass in how to handle yourself on a tennis court. Despite Tsitsipas trying to hit him, despite the arguing with the umpire, despite all the drama, Alcaraz stayed focused on his tennis. He didn't get drawn into arguments. He didn't retaliate. He just kept playing incredible tennis and let his game do the talking. That's what champions do. That's what separates the mentally strong from the mentally weak. The score tells the story of what happened after Tsitsipas's meltdown. Alcaraz broke serve multiple times. He won games to love. He hit winners that had commentators questioning if what they were seeing was even real tennis. One commentator asked how great Alcaraz is, and the answer was evident in every point. He was untouchable. Tsitsipas, meanwhile, was unraveling completely. His serve lost all effectiveness. His ground strokes were missing by miles. His body language screamed defeat. The drop shots from Alcaraz deserve special mention because they were absolutely humiliating for Tsitsipas. Tennis players hate being drop-shotted repeatedly because it makes them look slow and predictable. Alcaraz was hitting drop shots seemingly at will, and Tsitsipas could barely get to them. When he did get to them, Alcaraz would lob over him or pass him with ease. 4 successful drop shots became 7, became 8. Each one was a little dagger to Tsitsipas's pride. The commentary throughout the match was brutal in its honesty. They praised Alcaraz's composure, his shot-making, his movement, his mental strength. They questioned whether Tsitsipas felt pressure on big points, heavily implying that he crumbled when it mattered most. They pointed out his unforced errors, his tactical mistakes, his inability to adapt. It wasn't biased commentary, it was just accurate description of what everyone was watching. One particularly painful moment for Tsitsipas came when he finally hit a good shot, a difficult winner that should have given him some momentum. The very next point, Alcaraz hit an even better winner that completely negated whatever confidence Tsitsipas might have gained. That pattern repeated throughout the match. Every time Tsitsipas did something good, Alcaraz did something better. It was psychological warfare through superior tennis. The physicality difference was also apparent. Alcaraz was chasing down everything, sliding into shots, recovering impossibly quickly and showing no signs of fatigue. Tsitsipas was laboring, slipping, struggling to cover the court. At one point, Tsitsipas slipped and fell during a point, which was almost symbolic of how the entire match was going for him. Even when he was on his feet, he looked off balance and uncomfortable. The crowd's role in this match cannot be understated. They were firmly behind Alcaraz, giving him energy with every cheer, but they were also serving as judge and jury on Tsitsipas's behavior. The boos after he tried to hit Alcaraz sent a clear message. The sarcastic applause when he won points felt like mockery. The silence when he argued with the umpire was deafening. Playing in that kind of hostile environment because of your own actions is a special kind of hell. Tsitsipas's attempts to regain composure and mount a comeback were futile. He'd win a point or two, maybe even a game, and you could see him trying to convince himself he was back in the match. Then Alcaraz would rip another winner or hit another perfect drop shot, and whatever confidence Tsitsipas had built evaporated instantly. It was like watching someone try to climb out of quicksand. Every movement just made things worse. The tactical adjustments Tsitsipas tried to make were ineffective. He tried serving and volleying. Alcaraz passed him with ease. He tried staying back and grinding. Alcaraz out-rallied him. He tried going for big shots early in points. He made unforced errors. Nothing worked because Alcaraz was simply playing at a level that Tsitsipas couldn't match, especially not after losing his composure completely. The commentators noting that Alcaraz didn't need to hit serves at 200 km/h to be effective was particularly telling. He was beating Tsitsipas with placement, spin, and variety. Meanwhile, Tsitsipas was trying to overpower him and failing. That's the difference between someone playing smart tennis and someone playing desperate tennis. Alcaraz had a plan and executed it perfectly. Tsitsipas was just swinging hard and hoping. As the match wore on, Tsitsipas's body language became more and more defeated. Shoulders slumped, head down. No energy between points. He knew he was beaten, and everyone watching knew it too. The only question was whether he'd complete the humiliation by losing in straight sets, or if he'd somehow salvage a set just to make it slightly less embarrassing. Spoiler alert, it didn't matter. Alcaraz was winning this match no matter how many sets it took. The final games were a formality. Alcaraz served out the match with ease, hitting one last perfect shot to seal the victory. The handshake at the net was cordial but cold. Tsitsipas knew he'd been schooled. He knew he'd embarrassed himself with his behavior. He knew that everyone watching had just seen him get completely dominated by a better player who also happened to be a better sportsman. The walk off the court must have felt like a mile. Social media immediately lit up with reactions to the match. Tennis fans roasted Tsitsipas for trying to hit Alcaraz and for his meltdown with the umpire. Highlight videos of Alcaraz's incredible shots went viral. Memes were created. The consensus was universal. Tsitsipas had embarrassed himself, and Alcaraz had been absolutely brilliant. The contrast between how the two players conducted themselves couldn't have been more stark. What this match really exposed is the mental gap between Tsitsipas and the true elite players. Alcaraz, Djokovic, Federer, Nadal. These guys don't lose their composure like that. They don't try to hit opponents out of frustration. They don't argue with umpires over rules they should know. They maintain professionalism even when getting beaten badly. Tsitsipas has all the physical tools to be a champion, but mentally he's not there, and matches like this prove it. The lesson here is simple. Poor sportsmanship doesn't just make you look bad. It makes you play worse. Once Tsitsipas crossed that line by trying to hit Alcaraz, the match was effectively over. He lost whatever mental edge he might have still had. He gave Alcaraz and the crowd even more motivation to destroy him. He guaranteed that even if he somehow won, people would remember his behavior more than the result. He played himself, and the instant regret was completely justified. Stefanos Tsitsipas tried to hit Carlos Alcaraz out of frustration and immediately regretted it as Alcaraz proceeded to absolutely destroy him. The combination of poor sportsmanship, arguing with the umpire, and getting outplayed at every turn made this one of the most embarrassing performances from a top player in recent memory. Meanwhile, Alcaraz showed exactly how a champion handles adversity with class and lets their tennis do the talking. If you think Tsitsipas deserved everything he got, Smash that like button and subscribe for more brutal tennis breakdowns.